guys. So I'm back. You can't really see it, but my looks are installed. The looks are installed. So new hairstyle is here. Locks. Get into it. Um, but today I just wanted to talk about the importance of allowing yourself to try new things, try old things, and be bad at things. So, the reason why I brought that up is because I spent a lot of time this past week reflecting on just, like where I am on my journey, wanting to share more online, wanting to talk more, and having this overwhelming feeling that everything needs to be perfect, right? And I am a recovering perfectionist. So as a recovering perfectionist, it's like every once in a while I'll feel like something has to be like 100% perfect. Like, everything has to be neat, wrapped in a bow, 100% perfect in order for it to be impactful. And I'm realizing now that everything doesn't need to be perfect to be impactful. Perfection is not directly equal to impact. Something could be perfect and have zero impact, right? Something could be perfect but also have a lot of impact. So, what I wanted to say, the level of perfection is not directly proportional to the level of impact. And I've realized that there's not a lot of times in my life that I have allowed myself to be bad at something. The reason being is because growing up, I always felt like I had to be perfect, I had to be the best, I had to be, at the very least, good or great. And that's just based on my family, like values that they set for me, the things they said when I was growing up, the school environment, and all of those things, right? They perpetuated this idea that you either have to be good or great. If you're if you're just at the good point for too long, it's not good enough. You need to be great. You need to step it up. And for me, that's instilled this idea that if I try something once or twice and I'm bad at it, that it's something I'm not supposed to do. That anything I'm supposed to do or anything that I'm meant to be good at is something I would be good at on the first try or maybe the second try, or maybe sometimes I push myself for a third try. But I've convinced myself that the good needs to be there from the start, the perfect needs to be there from the start. And in putting myself out there, in number one, working on this content and just putting myself out there creatively in terms of other ideas and things that I have, I've learned that you first need to at least make the effort, at least be bad, get some kind of feedback, and then take that feedback and work to make it better. In addition to that, if you have it in your head that you're not good at something and you don't put it out there, you don't get zero feedback, you miss the opportunity to learn that you're actually good. And I have an example of this. So today I went to an open mic poetry night. right? I went to this open mic. This is literally the same outfit that I wore to the open mic. I went to this open mic just to listen to poetry because I love listening to poetry, right? I went to the open mic to listen to poetry. And I was listening to the poetry and I felt really called to like share my own poetry. Now, I've never considered myself a poet. Um, I used to write poems as a teenager and um, a little bit like in my early 20s, I have poems from then, right? So I felt really called to like share during this open mic. And so I didn't write my name on the official list. I didn't do anything. But I was like, you know what? I can trust my intuition. I can put myself out there and I can go up and I can say my poem. Um, it was actually a very short poem, right? So I actually got on the list. I said my poem, right? Mind you, this is a poem I wrote 10 years ago. This is a poem I wrote in my early 20s. The poem was actually about heartbreak. And I said the poem, and to me, it was just like, words I wrote like 10 years ago. The crazy thing about this is I got such good feedback from that poem. The feedback that I got from it was so good. So many people applauded me. Multiple, at least five people came up to me afterwards to say, I really loved your poem. Your poem was so good. It really stuck with me. And it just had me thinking about the fact that, like, I never thought poetry was something that I'm good at. I never thought that it was something that is even a talent for me. Because sometimes I just get like, it's kind of like a stream of consciousness or like words that come into my head and I just write it down, right? It's just kind of it kind of sometimes feels like having this like nagging thought in your head, and it's just like, okay, what am I gonna do with this? It's not a sentence. It's not like a statement like you can say out loud to another person because it feels like kind of vague, but kind of not vague. Anyways, let's just leave it as a stream of consciousness. So, whenever it comes to mind, I just jot it down and I just like, I write it in my phone, I write it on whatever notebook I have near at the time. Like, these things are all over. I've never created a system to really keep track of it, right? But it so happens that the one I read at the open mic, I had actually turned into like a little image. And so I still have that one. And if I didn't put myself out there because I thought that it was meaningless and I thought that it's something I'm bad at, that would have never given me the opportunity to learn that I'm actually good at it, that this is actually well received by the public, by the audience. And I think a lot of times we trick ourselves into thinking that we have zero impact. We trick ourselves into thinking that we need to keep waiting for the perfect moment. We need to keep waiting for the right moment. We need to wait until every single thing is lined up before we take a risk, before we pursue an opportunity, especially when it's something creative or it's something especially when it's creative or it's something that seems like, very risky, like, telling someone you love them for the first time, or, taking up a new opportunity in a field that you haven't been before, or traveling to a new place, or, putting yourself out there creatively. All these things. It's like you don't have to always have all of the information. And yes, safety is very important. Safety is always very important. But sometimes, not in every situation, not when it relates to your health, not when it relates to your life, excluding those situations, I think sometimes we play it too safe in our own lives. Like in our own lives, we are so safe in our own lives that we don't challenge anything, we don't shift anything, we don't try to see if we can learn more about ourselves, if we can challenge ourselves in different ways. We resign ourselves to old ideas, old methodologies, old ways of doing things, and decided that at whatever age, at whatever time and place, this is it. And I think what I did today really, it was out of my comfort zone. I've never read a poem in public before. And this was a poem I'd written 10 years ago. I would have never imagined when I wrote this 10 years ago that I would be saying it to an audience, right? I never wrote it with that in mind. But if I didn't take the chance to be bad at putting it out there, I would have never learned that this is actually something that I can do, and this is something that I'm good at. And I got invited to another poetry night because I did that. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit with you guys. Also, give a little, hairstyle update, and just to encourage people to try new things, try old things, and put yourself out there. You never ever know what could come from just trying something, even if you're bad at it. Even if you feel like you're not that good at something, still do it. Even if you feel like, maybe I should give up on this thing, maybe I'm not that good at it, like, still do it. Obviously, applies to hobbies, right? If you feel like you are dealing with any type of negative situation, if you feel like your job is draining you and you also feel like you're bad at your job, please leave. Please find other opportunities. This applies to, um, take it with a grain of salt, as they say. Take it with a grain of salt. Um, because I, for one, understand that advice has nuance, and not everything is applicable to everyone. So even if you feel like you've tried something, but you're a little bad at it, but for some reason you feel inclined to just do it a little more, just try it a little more. You might have tried to learn uh, a new language, but you feel like you're bad at it. Just try it a little more. Give yourself a chance to be bad at it, because that is how you will improve. If you're starting from the point at being bad, that gives you a chance to get to being good. If you don't start at all, there's no bar. There's no bar. If you don't start at all, there's nothing. There's not even a zero because you didn't start. But if you you give yourself a chance to be bad, start from being bad, you go up, get to the point of being good. So that is my little tidbit of encouragement, of give yourself opportunities to be bad at things. Uh, People love to say give yourself a chance to fail. I feel like fail is a word that has a more negative connotation than bad at times. Um, Especially when people can throw around the word like, oh, you're a failure, um, and all these other things. Uh, if someone says I'm bad at gymnastics versus saying I failed at gymnastics, that is a very different tone. So I don't really like the tone of the word fail. I don't really like the tone of the word failure. So instead of using fail or failure, I will say bad at, or give yourself a chance to not be perfect at. And I will end on a note of saying, like, this is your life. This is your life, and there is no perfect way to live your life. There is no perfect way to be yourself. You can only be yourself, exist as yourself. There is no perfect way to be you. There is ways that there's a good way to be yourself, and there's a bad way, which I would consider being like inauthentic. You wouldn't really be being yourself. But there's not a perfect way to be you. There's not a perfect way to exist. So give yourself a chance to be bad at being you. Give yourself a chance to be bad at learning about you. Give yourself a chance to be bad at things. If you're a parent, please don't take this advice. Please do not give yourself a chance to be bad at parenting. The kids need you. Otherwise, give yourself a chance to be bad at things, give yourself a chance to learn, give yourself a chance to grow. Give yourself a chance to grow. And with that, I say goodbye to you guys.